As tensions remain high on the peninsula, South Korea and the United States are currently holding a massive joint exercise preparing for the possibility of an all-out war with North Korea. This is the kind of exercise that North Korea is regularly condemned as a rehearsal for an invasion of the North, and we have yet more comments to digest out of Pyongyang. We also have justifications and threats from Seoul. And what exactly is happening in this exercise they call Ulchi Freedom Shield that's so upsetting to North Korea? And how is the North reacting in terms of its own provocations? All that and more on Looking North this week. There are several components to this exercise period, which kicked off on August 19th and runs until the 29th. Based on an all-out war scenario, it features a main computer simulation-based command post exercise alongside field training and defense drills for civilians in South Korea. So essentially, it's all geared towards being ready for the possibility of a North Korean attack. In the case of the South Korean civilian side, this week has been about preparing for a North Korean nuclear attack, and that's an aspect that's new to this year's Ulchi Freedom Shield period. And again, I stress the word period because the US isn't involved in this civilian nuclear defense aspect. But let's clarify what the US is doing with South Korea then. The Allies said this year's exercise will reflect threats across all domains, including those posed by North Korean missiles, GPS jamming and cyber attacks, as well as lessons learned from recent armed conflicts, which may presumably refer to Ukraine given the North's widely reported weapons supply of Russia in their ongoing war. This year, there will be 48 field training events compared with 38 last year, while there will be 17 brigade-level drills up from 4 last year. On the south side alone, we've been told around 19,000 South Korean troops are involved. The Army's joint training incorporates live-fire artillery and missile drills. The Navy is practicing defending ports. The Air Force is running an exercise for 120 hours straight, simulating infiltration by enemy aircraft involving South Korea's F-15K, F-A-50 and KF-16 fighters, and US F-16 and A-10 fighters. 200 aircraft in total. And North Korea has responded by condemning the exercise. Perhaps not surprisingly, given that level of Allied hardware, the North would feel threatened. On Sunday, Pyongyang's Foreign Ministry's Institute for American Studies described Ulchi Freedom Shield as the most offensive and provocative war drills for aggression in the world. The statement carried by state media said it was a prelude to nuclear war. That's been denied by the Allied side, but we have a clear nuclear threat there, and South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff have vowed to strengthen its ability to respond to any provocation. A big part of that, these civilian drills. The aim is to minimize damage in the event of a nuclear attack by the North, focusing on evacuation, assessment and rescue. That included a 20-minute nationwide drill Thursday after a siren sounded at 2 p.m, ordering evacuation to the nearest shelter, which include places like subways, underground shopping malls and apartment shelters, and controlling traffic while ordering drivers to listen for instructions via radio. It's good to be prepared, of course, but the prospect of actual nuclear missiles flying at Seoul might be greeted with a very different feeling. But South Korean President Yoon-Suk-yeol has called for readiness against grey zone provocations that might not be nearly so obvious as a nuclear attack. He spoke earlier this week about tackling the spread of false information, fake news and cyber attacks. He stressed the need to protect infrastructure like transport, communications, power and water supply, and nuclear power plants. And he even warned of anti-state forces who are operating covertly in various places. And then Wednesday, Yoon said that any invasion by the North will lead to the end of its regime. Comments like that will not be taken lightly in Pyongyang. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff has already warned it's likely North Korea will use Ulchi Freedom Shield as a pretext for its own provocations. Based on the recent past, we can realistically expect North Korea to test weapons and carry out its own drills. During Ulchi Freedom Shield drills last year, the North carried out ballistic missile testing to simulate scorched earth nuclear strikes on the South. And just this month, leader Kim-Jong-un celebrated the deployment of hundreds of nuclear-capable missile launchers to the front line with South Korea. North Korea said that by stockpiling the best deterrent, it can balance power and prevent war. On the other hand, South Korea's Yoon has insisted that the North Korean regime is the most irrational group on earth, and that only the South's robust military readiness can prevent them from making miscalculations. Will that be enough to maintain peace? It's not a particularly comfortable situation, but based on the mood in Seoul this week, people don't seem to really believe the rhetoric. Do you, though? Let us know via the comments. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe and spread the word about what we're doing. Until next time, this has been Looking North.